The depths are filled with gloom and nothingness, from vast chasms to gloom-covered enemies. The Tears of the Kingdom depths is filled with the mysteries of Hyrule, and we will see if these dark and hollow caves can save Hyrule from the Demon King. The rules of this run are simple. 1. I can only use weapons and armor from the depths. 2. If I fuse weapons, then the materials have to be obtained in the depths. 3. Mandatory items are allowed for their main purposes. 4. Obtain Majora's Mask hiding inside of the depths. And 5. All temples and final bosses must be defeated. With all that being said, this run is unique because the depths is not known for its easy to obtain weapons and materials. Will we be able to become the strongest? Let's find out. As we jump off the beginning Sky Island, the challenge officially starts and we make our way towards the Lookout Landing. Once we arrive, we're told that Pyrrha is in the building with the big telescope. After finding a very distraught Pyrrha, she tells us to go to Hyrule Castle. But I won't bore you with all of that, and let's just get into the exciting part. We find a horse. We tame a horse. We ride the horse. We get to the Great Plateau. The Great Plateau was a beginning area in Breath of the Wild, but now it's an endgame area, and not having any weapons, armor, anything, it's gonna be a little bit dangerous. The reason that we're actually going to the Great Plateau is because there's a bargainer statue. These bargainer statues are like little shops in the depths. So with the more that you find, the more you can buy from them, and then you can get more armor. Also, at the end of this one, you can get a heart container, so I decided to do it first, just to get it out of the way. Bargainer statues actually come in many different shapes and sizes, like this thing you see right here. This is a bargainer statue. And also, the little rock from before, that was also a bargainer statue. With this specific bargainer statue though, you have to collect 4 eyes, and as you just saw, we've already gotten one of them. So we just gotta get 3 more, and then we get the heart container, and we also get the bargainer statue to shop from. My first goal is to get most of our armor pieces. After getting some armor pieces, then we can start progressing the game and doing some temples. While on our way to Rito Village, we stop by a tower and get shot out of it. After meeting up with the Rito Village chief, Teba, he asks us to retrieve his rebelling son. Well, we finally found you. After talking with Tulin, he tells us that he can create a gust of wind, which will help so much with traversal. Tulin tells us that he got his weapon stolen by a monster, but with a little bit of help, he gets it back. Now this is the point where we have to traverse up the mountain, up into the sky, and over the top of the tornado. This is when we catch our first glimpse of the Wind Temple. We're here to stop this big crazy ship from creating a blizzard. We try to activate it to shut it all off, but we need to activate the 5 other gears to open up this big hatch. In order to activate those other 5 gears, you need to use Tulin's power to push these windmills with his wind. But after getting to the next 4, then we can open up the hatch and stop this crisis. But there's something in our way. Colgera, this giant flying beast. And don't tell me I said it wrong because I looked it up on Google Translate, so boom, I said it right. So the way you're supposed to damage Colgera is by shooting this crystal stomach, and eventually when it opens, you shoot it one more time, and then it takes damage. This is when I realized an issue, and no, it's not the space warping worm. It's the fact that my bows don't really have that much durability. I might have a few, but if it takes 5 hits to even break the crystal, then I'm in for some real trouble. It's at this point where I get a crazy snipe shot and he goes into second phase. Now in second phase, this is when he starts unleashing some giant tornadoes, and if you get caught in the middle of them with the little amount of armor that I have, you start to take a lot of damage. But eventually, after countless shots and multiple bows breaking, we wear Colgera's health down to 0. This means that we've officially beaten one of the first 4 temples. So now the tornado's starting to disperse, and the ice is also starting to melt. We meet Tulin's ancestor, but we don't really care about the lore, so let's just keep playing the video game. We're actually going to be jumping off from the Wind Temple over to a labyrinth, because if we finish that labyrinth, then we can get another piece of armor. It turns out that we can't actually enter this labyrinth because we have to make it through the one on the ground. All we have to do though is jump off of the Sky Labyrinth and make our way straight to the end of this labyrinth. In this maze, you have really low gravity, and in order to make it through, you have to find 4 different terminals so you can unlock the reward. But it turns out that it isn't actually that easy. You have to go all the way down into the depths, from the sky, and you have to beat a boss down there. Now this boss comes in 3 different difficulties. One's the easiest, 3 is the hardest, and I haven't even encountered one of these before, so having to fight the hardest one first is gonna be a challenge. It turns out that the Flux construct is completely invulnerable except for the one point on its body, which is the main control unit, and as long as you hit this point, you can actually deal damage to it. Apparently, it can also transform into multiple different shapes, so as you can see this one's a square, it does different attacks, so it's kind of hard to memorize these. Something else to note is that normally when I fight bosses, I can actually deal a decent amount of damage to them, but as you can tell with this, I deal basically nothing. So this is going to be a long, grueling game of me beating it. Not that I'd actually show you that long fight, but here's the last clip of it. One of the items that this thing drops is something that can only be fused with. You can't actually pick it up, but you can fuse it to another weapon, and that increases the damage by a lot. This place is more of an endgame area, so I'm sure there's a lot more to pick up. Actually, just outside of the boss arena, there are some chests, and they contain really, really useful items. But you'd be surprised. I actually didn't come for these items. There's a bargainer statue that's around this area, so I just needed to fight that to get to the bargainer statue. But I guess all this stuff is good too. So yeah, apparently I didn't need to do any of that. Turns out that the bargainer statue is in a completely different area. That was all pointless. Well, not pointless. I mean, I got some good weapons out of it, but that was pointless. I didn't need to do it in the first place. That took like 2 hours to do. What the We finally made it. We finally make it to the face of the bargainer statue, but out of all of that hard work, we still can't even buy the headpiece to the depths armor, so we're just gonna have to go find some more, I guess. 2 seconds for you, 30 minutes for me. We found the next bargainer statue. It was all worth it though, because we can now get the Hood of the Depths. With 200 more Poes, but that's fine, those are easy to collect. We got him. 30 minutes later, we got him. When I say this was totally worth it, I mean it was totally worth it. Okay, now what you've all been waiting for the past 4 minutes, another bargainer statue. Just kidding, just kidding. Don't click off. I'm going to the Colosseum where you can find Majora's Mask next. Now, I heard from a friend that you have to beat 5 Lionels in a row, and when I heard that, I was like, okay, this is not possible. But I'm still gonna give it a try. Screw that. I'm done. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. God, nope. I'll beat them later. Let's just do the next temple. The next temple that we're going to try to beat is going to be the Fire Temple. Now if we take a quick little run over here, then we can jump straight into Goron City. And it turns out everyone's all messed up in the brain because they had some marbled rock roast. Now, I don't know what the hell they're putting in these rocks, but I'll get what he has. You know, it turns out that Volcano is actually pretty hot, so I need to collect these fireproof lizards so I can make some fireproof elixirs, since my armor doesn't really provide any heat resistance. After spending about half an hour looking for some stupid lizards, we finally make some progress and start heading to Yonoboko HQ. So it sounds like Zelda is brainwashing Yonobo to make some drugs to give to the Gorons, and we walk in the middle of their heist. Yeah, I don't think he's happy about that. But Yonobo is still Yonobo at the end of the day and takes a bunch of damage because he's a wimp. When Yonobo tells us that the mask that Zelda gave him was controlling him, he gives us his power and then we make our way up Death Mountain. But right as soon as we make it up to the top, there's this giant molten marbled rock roast demon. Conveniently enough, there's this flying machine and Yonobo can jump on the top of it. So if we just fly up to those monsters, then we can just shoot them with Yunobo. But they also shoot something back. Big lava rocks. I know, who would have guessed it? While the second head wasn't too hard to get, Yunobo didn't make it back up in time to shoot it, and I went tumbling down. Luckily, there were more, so after we grabbed one, we just flew back up and took it out. Now we can go inside of Death Mountain. Once we get in, we go to the nearest library and light the place up. After that, we go and find the Fire Temple. With the entrance blocked though, we have to use Yunobo's power to break through the rock roast. After finding all of the terminals, we open up the gate and walk into the boss arena. The marbled Goma looms over us, but with my quick thinking, I immediately use Yunobo and take out one of its legs. That immediately puts it at a disadvantage, because if I take out one more of its legs, then I can get on top of it and start hitting its eyeball. After dealing a little bit more damage, we finally get the marbled Goma into second phase. The only real difference about first phase and the second phase is that the Goma jumps onto the roof, so you have to use Yunobo to take its legs out by running him up the walls onto the roof. This makes the marbled Goma fall down and you can actually reach it. So I deal tons of damage and eventually we kill the Goma. We also get a heart container for our troubles, which is always nice. Yunobo becomes the Sage of Fire and we save Goron City. Let's keep this momentum up and head towards Gerudo Desert. While making our way towards Karakar Bazaar, we can see that almost all of Gerudo Desert is covered by a sand shroud, meaning you can't see anywhere and you can't even use your minimap. Luckily we find an updraft and make our way to Gerudo Town. This once beautiful paradise is now deserted. Turns out there was an invasion from something called a Gibdo and everyone's hiding underground. Sadly they won't let me in because I'm a Vo, so I'm just gonna have to sneak in another way. The underground waterways. Luckily, we're welcomed in by Riju's right hand, and she tells us to go find Riju because she's off training somewhere. After finding her, she tells us that she's adapted a new ability to strike lightning down on people. But then suddenly, we're told that Karakar Bazaar is under attack by these Gibdos, and for some reason we have to help them. Luckily, it's pretty easy with Riju's power, just to strike lightning on them. It's pretty satisfying. Almost as exciting as the giant tornado storm. Turns out there's going to be a swarm of Gibdos surrounding Gerudo Town, so we're going to have to fight that off with Riju and the other Gerudos. Once the battle starts, we have to protect 3 different entrances to Gerudo Town. Luckily, it's pretty easy to destroy the hives, and we save Gerudo Town almost right away. But the battle isn't over yet, because we still have to find the temple hiding in the Gerudo Sands. Oh, yeah, I think I found it. Like any sane person, when I see a big glowing orb, I shoot it. And what comes out of it? It's the freaking boss. Yeah. Crazy, right? No, I kind of expected it. Now, the way this freaking thing runs is creepy. It's nightmare fuel. It's... what? Get it out of my sights. I never want to see this thing again. Now, when I tell you this is my least favorite temple, it is my least favorite temple. I want it gone forever. Go back in the sands. I don't want to see you. Okay, let's finish this boss off. Since we've already had the chance to fight the big Gibdo, we already know how the first phase goes, so we'll just go on to the second phase. In this phase, she activates all the different hive minds around her and brings out a bunch of smaller Gibdos, and these things are such a big pain that I just die multiple times to her and have to restart the whole fight over. But after dying 4 more times, I finally use her own minions against her and use their bones, which are actually 40 fuse damage, and put it on a Lionel bow, so I deal so much damage to her that I finally kill her and she goes away forever. Still, we get a heart container. Riju becomes the Sage of Lightning, and then we're on to the next temple. Now, Sidon is my favorite sage by far because he has a whistle. That's not my only favorite thing about him, though. He's also just a big, lovable fish. And now we have to help him because Zoro's domain is being covered in sludge. And this sludge is actually coming from the sky. I know that it's been a minute since we've gotten any new weapons or shields, but after this next temple, I'll go back down into the depths, get some new weapons, and maybe even try to get Majora's Mask again. An enemy tries to ambush us, but Sidon gives us his power to take this monster out. After beating this monster, me and Sidon go up to the water temple and then try to figure out what's going on from there. It turns out that we aren't even at the water temple yet. We have to go up even higher to actually reach it. After catching up with Sidon, we find the source of the sludge, and we have to go activate some terminals to get rid of the source of the sludge. Since this is the last terminal, the enemies around here are crazy strong, and I basically get one shot. This means that I need to be really careful. After activating all of the terminals, we head back to the boss arena in order to face the enemy. Muktarok. Though it's small, it's very mighty with its very strong shark attacks. The Muktarok is a very interesting enemy because it runs away while you attack, so you have to chase it down, and that gives you less time to attack. For example, you see me just chasing it down right here, and that can get pretty annoying after trying to beat it for a while. In its second phase, it spews out a lot more sludge and throws it onto the floor, making it hard for you to move and harder for you to attack. Here's a little clip of me trying to figure out where it's gonna go, but there's just no way to track where it's gonna move. And yet, after maneuvering my way through the sludge, I get to the Muktarok and I take it out. Almost. But just one more attack and then we beat it. We beat the last temple. Heart container. Sage. We saved the Zoras. This is probably my favorite part of the game, but Sidon actually becomes the king. The king of the Zora. Good job. I'm proud of him. We can't rest yet though. Tension is building in Hyrule Castle because we see Zelda through a telescope. So in normal Link fashion, we completely forget about her and go complete some other stuff. Alright, fine Zelda, I guess I'll come save you. After making us fight all throughout Hyrule Castle, I leave. I mean, what did you expect? I ain't doing that for her. I decide that I'm gonna do some shrines so that I can get some more stamina, because I'm lacking in that department. I'm gonna do a little fancy editing and magically have 12 Light of Blessings. Oh my gosh, I did it! What? Anyways, I actually decided to get more health since I'm gonna be fighting a boss right away. And we make our way to Hyrule Castle. Yes, we have all of our 4 friends. This is gonna be easy. I've prepared so much. Let's just do it. Oh my gosh, so scary. Zelda goes limp and we fight Phantom Ganon? Yeah, I don't know either. But I do know that I got this flurry rush and I deal basically no damage, so wonder how I'm gonna deal damage to him. Find out in the next episode. Half health, baby? Okay, we're gonna beat him this try. Wait, what's he doing? Oh my gosh, get me out of here. I don't want to play this game anymore. You know what? I'm upgrading my armor. I need to take more hits. Why, hello there, Terra. Give me those armor upgrades. What the f? I'm a disappointment to my family. I just post YouTube videos. Nice YouTube videos. And I can't even upgrade armor. Good thing you didn't have to see my midlife crisis. Oh yes, I will upgrade the hood. Thank you very much. Wait, I need more? 8 defense. Yes! We are so ready to take on these Lionels. I'm gonna beat them down, every single one of them. I'm gonna get all of their materials, and I'm going to win at video games. 1 down. Damn it! 2 down! I'm gonna make Lionel steak out of this bitch. After I leave, I fuse my unfused weapons with the materials that I got from the fight earlier, and I make stronger weapons with them. I actually decided that I want more stamina and get rid of some of my hearts. For some reason, I got the urge to go fight Phantom Ganon again and die, but I mean, hey, I don't even know what I was thinking at this point. Oh, but I didn't go in without a plan. I decided to use my bow and use Gibdo bones on it. That's right. I made him take so much damage that I eventually brought him down to second phase and didn't die. Now, it was at this point last time where I died immediately, but if I keep my ground and just keep on shooting them from far, then I can actually wear down their health and play video games. It's getting to the point where he has really low health, and I'm getting excited. Like, am I gonna beat him first try? That's what you'd think, simpleton, but no, it has to be difficult. Or so I thought. After gratefully accepting a heart container, we pick up all the gloom weapons around us, and then realize that I can't actually use them, so I drop them all again. But we've made significant progress, so I'll take that as a win any day of the week. Turns out that there's actually more story that I have to do, and there's one more sage to go find, so haha, here goes 2 hours of my life in 3 seconds. Bing. Bang. Bop. Okay. There you go. It was roughly 2 hours, alright? But now, this is the 5th sage. Minoru, but in robot form, because, it's been 10,000 years, so she's not really in her normal body. You can actually attach stuff to her arms and her back, so this makes traversing a little bit easier down here in the depths. The 5th secret zone is in sight, but we get stopped by something mysterious. Our twin? I guess? Turns out it's actually easy to find it, and you just gotta slap him a few times and get it to half health. And the only difference here is that it grows more arms. So, easy. Yeah, all you have to do is hit it with fire, hit it a few times, and knock it into the electric railing. This game has just been giving me so many heart containers, like, I didn't even need to get any hearts. And this is when we officially get the power of the Sage of Wisdom. Alright, so you know how there's been this thing that I've been avoiding like at least twice? Yeah, that's the Colosseum where all the Lionels are, but I promise you, this time I come fully prepared to beat the loving out of these Lionels. You know what? I'm so prepared that I'm just gonna skip to the second to last Lionel, so you don't have to wait, because I totally beat all those other Lionels without even getting hit once. Now it's at this point where I've actually gotten used to fighting the Lionels, so I get clean headshots, deal so much damage to them, I just don't even go for the mount. I just keep destroying them. Oh my gosh. At long last, we beat him. Finally. God damn. Time for the real challenge to start. This one is gonna be a toughie. Since this one has armor, you have to go in with a weapon that actually destroys rocks because it's wearing rock armor. There's a cool little thing that you can do here actually. You can fuse your shield with the armor shard that drops from the Lionel. Now while fighting this Lionel, I need to make sure that I'm playing out of my mind because I do not want to fight it again. This would take forever if I ever died. This is when I decide to bring out my secret weapon. Remember the horn that the other Lionel had that's similar to this one? Yeah, I just put that on a stick and boom, dead instantly. We finally got Majora's Mask. Time to never put it on. You know what? I think it's about that time. Let's go fight this Demon King. Now, while we're down here, we see tons of strong enemies, but I'm not really in the mood to fight all of them because I don't want to waste any of my weapons because they're a pain to get back. Seems like there's a Phantom Ganon down here, so, like the sane person I am, I'd run the opposite direction. Though I am afraid of my weapon's durability, I am not afraid of making new ones. After making a long trek down this whole chasm, we finally make it to the final boss. Kind of. Okay, actually first we have to fight his army, but with the power of friendship, the other sages come in and we can fight these bad monsters all the way, I don't know. Oh yeah, there's Minoru too, I guess I forgot her. Oh yeah, we're definitely ready to take on this army. It seems like the first wave of the Demon King's army is just bokoblins, and one boss bokoblin, but these bokoblins are only dying in one hit, so these are easy to take out. I decided that the boss bokoblin is just chasing me too much, so I just shoot it with the white choo-choo jelly to stop it from moving. So now I can just focus on the normal bokoblins and just wipe out his army completely. Now the next little wave of the army is Lizalfos. Now the way these little lizards run up to you and fake you out is really annoying, so you have to stay on your toes to make sure you don't lose all of your health. But yeah, besides that, pretty easy. Now for the next phase, of course he brings out the Gibdos, which are the worst. I hate them. As long as you use fire moves though, you'll be fine. And now for the last phase, Moblins. And you know what? I think these are going to be even easier than the Gibdos. So no sweat off my back and no sweat off yours. And that's the last Moblin defeated. Time to fight the Demon King. Hopefully for real this time. The Demon King resummons all of the 5 main bosses, but luckily I'm not the one that has to fight them, and the sages do. It's time, everyone. Let's finish this challenge off with a bang. And we did it. We officially beat the Tears of the Kingdom Depths Only Challenge Run. If you enjoyed the video at least a little bit, consider subscribing. It's free, and I would appreciate it so much. But besides that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and see you soon. Bye.